Hey folks, Frank here. We're coming up on our 100th episode, and there's no one we'd rather celebrate this milestone with than you, the listeners who got us here. I'd like to cordially invite you to our Cheers to 100 live episode recording and party on Friday, August 15th at J. Rieger. We'll have food, drinks, and a live panel recording featuring a few of your favorite past guests. You'll have a chance to mingle with our team, along with some local legends and fellow listeners, and you'll be the first to hear about some exciting things we have in store. Head over to our website, somethingaboutKC.org, to learn more and get your tickets today.
There's Just Something About Kansas City is brought to you in part by the generosity of our friends at the Cockrell Family Foundation, the Bergman family, and the Sherman Family Foundation. Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of There's Just Something About Kansas City. I'm your host, Frank Bohl. And of course, during our podcast of Something About Kansas City, we always talk about the people, places, and things that make this such a great place to live, work, and raise your families. And today, I am so honored to have this young man sitting across from me, Allan Swan, the president of Panasonic North America. Allan, thank you so much. And I know how busy you are, and I think everybody around here does because of the huge new EV battery plant going in tiny DeSoto, Kansas, and we'll talk about how you ever came to that decision. But number one, welcome.
Thank
I know
you.
You're from Scotland,
Yes, sir.
is your home country, and
Yep.
just welcome to. I know you've been in America for a while, but just welcome.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here, and I look forward to having a chat and telling you all about Panasonic and what we think about Kansas City.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your background from when. Just talk about growing up a little bit. So I think
Sure.
people get curious about this. And I know you saw me hobble in here on crutches. I got hurt playing golf, which is your national sport. Okay, you invented that game to frustrate everybody else in the world. But just talk a little bit about your journey from being a young boy, growing up in Glasgow, and then all the moves you've made. You lived in Germany.
Yeah, I've been around.
Yeah.
I've been around.
You've been around a little bit.
So Glasgow, born in Glasgow. Actually, I'm born in Glasgow, but there's a district of Glasgow called Govan. So here's a little bit of a story for you. Way back when, there was a decision whether the city would be called Glasgow or Govan. So if you come from Govan, which I was born in Govan, we call ourselves Govanites rather than a Glasgow person. But yeah, born in Govan, working class family, and really everything was great. Great part of the world, a really nice city, and enjoyed it. But I always wanted to move on and do different things. So from there managed to do okay at school, and then moved into.
You went to school in you went to school in England, right? Went to Southampton.
Yeah, ended up in Southampton, and I managed to work for Rolls-Royce, actually. Not the car company, Rolls-Royce, the aero engine company.
This is great. You met my wife outside. She said, the only question I want to know, when he worked for Rolls-Royce, did they give him a company car?
No. No. So it's aero engines. So they split the company up, and I worked for the aero engine division. And from there, to be honest, I had an amazing career with there. It was absolutely outstanding. Lived in Scotland till I was 40.
Oh, gosh.
Then I moved to England, which, by the way, is a big thing. It's like 300 miles away, but it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I lived there for 4 years, and then I came to the States in 2007. And believe it or not, it was Indiana. So Indianapolis is where Rolls-Royce had a huge plant that made military product.
Right. This is their defense department. I don't know people, especially engines. They make the engines.
Yeah, V-22, C-130s,
Yes.
all those engines are made in Indiana.
Wow.
So I came over there and enjoyed it. I was on a 2-year assignment to come over to America, get some experience, work in a different culture, etc. And I'm still here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I clearly enjoyed
But
that
plus
part.
you changed companies.
I'll talk about that in a second for you. Yeah. The other thing about Indiana and Rolls-Royce, just quickly, C-130s, V-22s, amazing people, all military products. So it really is an honor to work with them and be with them. It was outstanding. And I had a pretty good role. I ran the operations there. And amazing people, like I said. They also make the lift fan. Lift fan is the vertical takeoff jet.
Oh, yes, the jet that just can take
vertically
off.
takes off and vertically lands. That product is actually a Rolls-Royce product, and the lift fan is made in Indianapolis as well. So a big shout out to the American workforce because they did a hell of a job, and that's a hell of a product. So
Yeah, you know what? I think when they had the flyover at Arrowhead, this past week. I think those
They used that
those were the planes that they had to.
wow.
You can see they're flying like this,
Right,
but,
right.
but the propellers were up
Yeah,
here.
you got it.
They came over. I'm pretty sure that's the
got
plane that flew over. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
You got it. So that brought me to America, and family came over and everything like that. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
So what were your thoughts of, okay, now I'm leaving, my hometown's only 300 miles away. Now all of a sudden I'm going across the ocean. What were your thoughts, your family thoughts, the discussions about doing that?
Okay, so I'm a bit of a nomad. So for me, it's like, we're going to do this, right? Okay. That's it. I had to pull the family along a little bit, to be fair. They were like, oh, really? We're going to do this? And anyway, we did it. But what it did for my children, I've got 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. What it did for them is it opened their minds up hugely. And now, and I see the difference in them quite alarmingly in a good way, right? You can see a huge difference in them. So that was really cool. So as you said, I worked in Rolls-Royce, had a really nice job. Everything was cooking nicely. And then I got a tap on the shoulder saying, why don't you come in the Wild West, come in Nevada, and join us. This is Panasonic, and join us, and we're making this battery for Tesla. And so
Did you know much about the battery industry and that?
I knew nothing. Right, I'm an aerospace guy.
Good. Okay.
I knew nothing.
Okay.
So I go over there, and I have the interview, and the more the challenge, the better it is, right, for me, which is why the challenge of coming to America, coming to a different country, enjoying what that excites me. So I'm looking, and my wife thinks I'm crazy, right? She's like, you got this really good job in Rolls-Royce. You've been there your whole career. What are you doing? You're taking all these risks. And I was like, yeah, but if I don't do it, I'll always regret it.
Yeah, you always go, what if?
Right.
You don't want to have any what ifs.
So I did it. Went over to Nevada, and what a ride. The last 6 years have just been unbelievable.
Right.
Working with Tesla.
So Panasonic came to you. They obviously saw what you're doing with Rolls-Royce in their defense department. Panasonic came to you, and you're thinking, well, do they do anything, defense contracts in Panasonic? I'm sure they probably do. Okay, but all of a sudden they go, yeah, we want you to build these new batteries for the EVs. And you just, sure, why not? Let's try it.
Yep, rolled the sleeves up when we did it, and it was an incredible journey, actually. The first 6 months was horrible. I mean, everything was all over the place. We couldn't make enough product. Elon Musk was going absolutely crazy. We weren't making money. I mean, it was just like a nightmare. But when I'm in that space, that's me at my best, right? I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So we turned it around, and after the first 6 months in 2019, we started making a profit, and boom, never turned back. And the people just embraced some of the things we do. We do like high performance culture. There's a number of things we do to really get people excited, and everybody just embraced it. And we just got better and better. Yeah. And we're now at a place, I like to talk about this, we're now at a pace where 66 batteries a second are made in that factory.
That's amazing.
Which is off the charts. Yeah.
Right. And, this business has really turned around. Right. And they're trying to, and there's still a lot to do. Like, I think you said it, and I think I see it quoted somewhere. You're a 5-year startup in a 100-year-old
You got
company.
it. That's exactly right.
You're just like a startup company, this EV thing.
You got
Panasonic's been doing what they've been doing for 100 years. And,
right.
and all of a sudden they're going to do this startup. And
right.
that's not easy to do.
Oh, no, 100%. I mean, most startups don't survive, right?
Right.
I mean, it's tough because you can make a product in a lab for sure. You can make a product, but that's tough too. But you can make it in a lab, and it works out. Trying to take it in mass production is a whole different ballgame, and we managed to do that. We pulled that off. The electric industry has also kicked off. So now everybody's talking about electric cars. There's buses, there's trucks,
right.
There's trains. So it's coming. There's a new electric industry is definitely coming. So it's getting pretty exciting from that perspective. And when we did it, what you got to remember is back in 2018, which is when I joined Panasonic, everybody's like, Tesla going to die. They're not going to make it.
Right.
I mean, they were thinking the electric industry was just going to go. And fortunately, the customer we have has a guy that leads it who's pretty much tenacious and just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And we managed to break through. And we've been a great partnership with them, actually, in the last 6 years. It's been really cool. And now, of course, we're building a new factory here.
Yeah, you're building a new factory in DeSoto. We'll talk about how in God's name you got to Kansas. But the deal is, so when you went to Nevada, obviously we talked about this just a little bit before you came in.
Yep.
And you're going, where are we going? Where? Sparks, Nevada? Where is Sparks, Nevada?
I had no clue where Sparks, Nevada was.
I'm sure you didn't, right? And you have to look on a map. But we talked about this before. You need a state that has a lot of land. That means they don't have a whole lot of people, but they have a lot of land, and but they become a willing partner.
Yes.
How did that work with Nevada at first?
Yeah, so it's interesting. A little bit of story is that the Tesla build their product in Fremont, California. And we were 6 miles inside Nevada State from California State. That's where Reno sits,
Right.
the Sparks area sits. And to your point, there's nothing, right? It's just desert and stuff like that. So, and Nevada did a hell of a job, actually. The governor at the time did a hell of a job and managed to put together a package that they set it up. And it's the world's first gigafactory that was set up. Now, it's Tesla's factory. It's not Panasonic's factory. It's Tesla's factory. And, of course, we partner with them, and I can talk a little bit more about that. But Nevada were excellent, and they really supported it. And basically, if you know that Tahoe area, it's over the mountain, then you're down into
the valley.
Down to the valley, yeah.
Yeah, and you're on the leeward side, so you don't get quite as much snow as Lake Tahoe, but
True.
It's still right there if you want to go skiing. That's
It's
for
true.
Sure.
But Nevada did great, and obviously the rest is history as our customer went to mass production, and we went with them, and then you got all these cars all over the place now.
Yeah, they are. In fact, Ben Messner, who runs Marquee Creative here and is our podcaster, he has a Tesla.
I seen it
right
yeah.
outside.
I seen it outside. Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah. So you drove up, and so we said, "Oh, I think that's him." I said, "Is that Tesla?" They went, "Yeah." I said, "I think that's him."
It's true.
Yeah. So you told me a funny story about the governor of Nevada. What did he say to you?
Yeah, I met the governor of Nevada about a year ago. We were chatting, and he's like, "Where's that accent from?" I said, "Well, I'm actually was born in Scotland." I said, "So I haven't lost it." And he looked at me and said, "How did you get a job in Panasonic?" And I laughed and I said, "The Japanese didn't understand me, and I think we'd better just give this guy the job." So that was a story that the governor and I shared in Nevada.
I think it was just a little bit more than that. Okay, so you're pumping through this production. You're doing 66
a second.
66 a second.
Yep.
I mean, that's mind-boggling.
I know.
Okay, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
How big is the plant in Sparks, Nevada?
So we use gigawatt as the kind of size.
I'm sorry.
We use gigawatt as the
Don't
volume.
go too far on my head.
I got you. I
Okay.
got you. So we use gigawatt. So it's about a 35 gigawatt. It's moving to 38, and it'll actually hit 40. We're just opening a new line. So we'll move to about a 40 gigawatt, and that will make about 500,000 cars. So to help you context that. So 40 gigawatt makes about 500,000 product for our customer.
Okay.
Approximately. So it gives you an idea of the volume. So 40 gigawatt.
Wow. And now how big? Okay, well, we'll talk about it. So is that set there pretty much? Are they as big as they're going to get? And that's why you now continue to expand from into different parts of the country?
Great
Or are you
story.
going to add on to the Sparks plant as well?
Great story. So it's Tesla's plant. It's not our plant.
Right.
We're inside it, but it's their plant. And they are looking at, I would expect more expansion in Nevada, to be honest. They're already working on a semi-truck factory, for example. So I would expect we will see further expansion in Nevada. But being in their factory means we can only make the product for them in that factory. I can't make it for anyone else.
Okay.
So the decision we made, as you know, was to make another factory, which would be a Panasonic factory. So it's not a customer factory,
Right.
It's ours. And we did a long trawl. We went to 12 states. We went to over 100 sites. We did a lot of work all around the country. And we narrowed it down to about 3 or 4 states. And one of them was Kansas. And I came up here, I think it was Christmas 21. I came up with a few of us. We came up and we were looking, and Lieutenant Governor of Kansas organized a dinner with academics, business leaders, and obviously politicians. And we had a meeting with them, and the warmth and the teamwork was really strong. And they made a great impression on us, a very great impression on us. I met Cliff Illig for the first time that night, and him and I got chatting. And
Well, you two probably hit it off pretty well. I think.
we talked about soccer, and boom.
That's it.
And so that was the beginning of an amazing relationship, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the Kansas team really did a hell of a job. The whole bipartisan work was off the charts. It was really, really strong. So we narrowed it down, and then we made a selection, and it's an old ammunition dump, as you know.
Yes, I know
ammunition
that, yeah.
factory, I should say, in Soto, and we were delighted to choose. So out of over 100 sites, more than 12 states, we narrowed it down to Kansas, and it's so great to be here.
Yeah, right. And that just shows, I think, We don't do politics or religion here for a good reason, but that just goes to show when you can get both sides of the aisle to start talking about something and try to agree, that's going to help us all, okay, in the long run. And it's not just going to help the state of Kansas. I mean, it's wonderful for them. We're right across,
of course.
There's the state lines right across there from Missouri.
Yep.
It's going to help. You're going to put at least probably by the time it's all said and done, it's going to be 8,000 people basically working for you, 4,000 to start with, and then maybe another 4,000 after that. That's incredible. Then we start talking about where do you get the manpower for all this sort of thing. You know, we talked, and I'm sure Cliff Illig had talked to us about this as well.
Yeah.
They had to recruit from the coast to get some people to work for Cerner. And I'm sure Panasonic in the beginning is going to have to do that here in Kansas.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that. Let me go back to Sparks because I want to use that as a bit of a model, if I may. So in Reno, there's about 400,000 people live in Reno. That's it. And so Tesla are there, we're there. Between both of us, we've probably got a 12,000, 14,000 people factory, right? Between both of us.
Right.
It's huge. It's a small town.
Yeah, and for the economy, it's just...
And we seen, over that 5 or 6 years that we were there, we could see how the whole infrastructure worked. And we seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. To be honest, we've seen all of it. So one of the main ingredients we looked for when we picked Kansas was the size of the city. And it's 1.2 million metro size. So that's huge. That's almost 3 times bigger than what we were dealing with over in Reno. And we could see from a demographic point of view and the skill set point of view that the skill level was higher in this location. So we were excited about that and feel pretty strong that there's, yes, we will probably pull people from outside the state, but we actually believe there'll be a lot of people inside the state who can more than match the skill set that we need. And will have a very successful time working for us and be successful for them and their families. Yeah,
right. And then for the future, I think you had the great story about the mom who came up to you and talked about it.
Yes, yeah. So when we did groundbreaking, the governor actually mentioned to me, she had residents come up to her and said, I'm really excited about this new factory because it means when my children are going to school, as in university, they might stay in Kansas because we normally lose a lot of the students because they have to go elsewhere for jobs. And if we can help with that, then that is perfect because that's one of the reasons we chose here. The primary reason was the friendship, the excitement, the work ethic that exists here. You could feel all of that. And I'm so delighted to tell you that was the main reason for coming here. And 2 years later, when we've almost finished the first part of the factory and our recruitment's going on, and I'll talk about that obviously shortly with you, nothing has let us down. Nothing. Kansas and the Kansas City area has been absolutely everything we thought we'd need. You've given us it and more. It's been outstanding.
Yeah, right. And I think there's probably a little bit of trepidation. I mean, you looked at 100 sites, 13 different states. Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden it comes down to, okay, so we're going to DeSoto, Kansas, right? Everybody on board for that? Did you get anybody? Well, I'm not too sure. But since that time, it has worked perfectly for you.
It has gone really well. We have not had a glitch. Obviously, touch wood, we have not had a glitch. Okay. It's gone really well, and everybody's been so supportive. All of the companies around here, the politicians, like I've mentioned, the business people, and the people in the communities have been very, very good. It's been really great.
And you've had groundbreaking, and it's going up now. Yep. How soon before you are basically totally finished? I'm just going to say phase 1. Because if the EV industry goes the way everybody thinks it's going to go, okay, it's just going to get bigger. Okay, so we'll talk about phase 1 here with what you're doing out there in DeSoto. How close are you to open?
So not to confuse everybody, so phase 1, using your term, is actually, I've got a wing 1 and a wing 2.
Okay.
Apologize, everybody, it's wing 1 and wing 2. So wing 1 is our first 4 lines, and we will start making product. We'll start making product early January, but we won't move to full production till around about May or so. So in that Q2 period
next year, 12-25.
Yep. Then we'll go to full production. Then we'll open. That'll be the line 1, and then we'll open the 4 lines which go in that wing, and then we'll move to the second wing and we'll open up those wings. So that'll go all the way through to probably mid-26 to have it fully up and running, 66 batteries a second, just like Nevada.
66.
And but
okay, so now you're working for Panasonic, so you don't just have to be from this factory. You don't have to be Tesla exclusive. Okay, so
yes, that's right.
So now, who else do you sell batteries to? Who else do you sell these batteries to?
Yeah, great
I'm
question.
sure the other car dealers, but yeah.
Yeah, well, at the moment, so the first 4 lines are for our customer, Tesla,
Tesla,
interestingly
okay.
enough. Then we've got a couple of lines for Lucid, and then there's a company called Hexagon Puros, who is a semi-truck that will make batteries for them. And we've got
How different are those batteries than the car batteries?
They're the same.
Okay, exactly the same.
Well, there's slightly different chemicals. I don't want to
Okay,
go too
right,
technical,
no,
but
don't get too technical.
But basically, the size of the product is exactly the same.
Right.
There's a little bit of chemical difference because there's a slightly different demand on the vehicle. Truck vehicles and truck batteries. I'm sorry, and car batteries not that different.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the people listening know this, but there are 4,000 batteries going to a car. So these are not like your regular like car batteries that you think about a car battery today.
Right.
These are electrical batteries. They go on the floor, and there's 4,000 of them. I probably should have said that at the beginning so to give everybody some context.
Yeah.
There's 4,000 of these things getting in each vehicle, approximately.
Yeah, right.
Depending on who the
And
customer
you
is.
even call them cylindrical batteries,
Yeah, we do.
right?
Yep.
So they look like the battery
exactly
you put in your
like a cylinder.
flashlight.
Yep.
Yeah, basically. If anybody has a flashlight
Yep.
anymore, all they have is their cell phone. So that's how old I am.
Yep.
So, but the deal is, they're the cylindrical batteries, and they're all sizes, all shapes, all sizes, right?
We got 2 sizes, basically. Technically 3. There's an older size we had, which is a smaller one. The ones we use, so the ones we build in Nevada, they're the ones that go in all the Model Ys, Model 3s, etc. And they're the ones that we'll build here in DeSoto. And then there's a new battery that we're making in Japan called a 4680. So it looks more like a can of pop,
Right.
right?
Okay.
A can of soda.
All right. But that's small. I mean, it's not. That's how. That's
Yeah.
the
It's
only-
not huge, but
No,
it's,
that's not
And
huge.
there's maybe 900 or 1,000 of them will go in a vehicle, so it's a slightly different.
That's why they weigh so much, right?
That's all the weights at the bottom of the car. You got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. and before we get off the yikes, that's just crazy. Yeah, just thinking about that. But before we get into the education and the changing times and stuff,
Yep.
I would think. Okay, now this is just me. Panasonic is a Japanese-based company for all practical purposes. Panasonic North America is in Newark, New Jersey. But the deal is, what you're doing, lithium. We have some in the United States, or some
Yes.
in the state of Nevada, not far from the Sparks plant,
Yes.
which makes sense.
Yep.
When you're looking for new sites, why not Chile, Argentina, and Brazil, I think, are the 3 huge lithium areas in the world, the biggest of all. Plants there, or it just doesn't work because of the fact it is a South American country?
No, great question, and it's nothing to do with South American countries. So it's more about the supply chain. So you basically want to finish the product, which is what we do. We finish the battery product. You want it in a location that's not too far away. So somewhere in the United States, for example, to your customer. So from a supply chain perspective, the lithium that you mentioned. Again, I'm going to be too technical here, so
That's
you
okay.
got to
Go
stop
ahead.
me. So the lithium, yes, people have got lithium in different countries: Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and in America, actually. But that needs to be processed.
Okay.
So you can mine it or get it out of the ground somehow, but then you got to take it and then do something with it before we would use it.
Okay, so they do that there as well? Or do you bring the raw lithium here and process it here?
So right now, all of that is done in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of my supply chain, I'll talk about supply chain shortly, but most of the supply chain today is actually in either Korea or Japan, mostly Japan.
Okay. So they take the lithium, they
process it
they
into
process, and then
what
they
we
send
need,
it to you.
and then they send it back across, and then so there's a lot of logistic costs here.
Yeah, right. How much is this business changing? How much is the EV changing? Because you hear people say, well, I'm not going to buy an electric car until blank. Number one, they recharge faster. Number 2, I'm driving across the country and I just want to pull in and plug it in, go inside, go to the bathroom, get a bag of chips, get a soda can, pay the guy, walk back out to my car, pull it out and go. And I'm 100% full.
Yep.
How far are we from something of that nature? And is that is probably the end goal for all practical purposes, having it operate like a gasoline-operated car,
For sure.
a petroleum-operated car, but not with the environmental impact.
You got it. So it's getting closer and closer. As you mentioned, I've got a vehicle. I use my Tesla model today. It's a 10-minute charge
Yes.
already today. It's 10 minutes. So literally I do, what you just explained is what I do.
Right.
I go in the car, I plug it in, I get out, bag of chips, whatever, back in, and I'm ready to go. It's actually getting closer, but we will continue to work on that. So as part of the new technology, we'll make fast charging faster. So it just feels like you were filling up your vehicle from it, in a normal gas station. So that's what we're working on, and then we also work on we call it density, which is the mileage distance. Mm-hmm. So the two things actually contradict each other from a technology perspective. So the more fast charge you get, the more you have to give away on the density, which causes the mileage to alter somewhat. So, but we'll keep working on it, and what will eventually happen is the mileage will continue to improve, and then the fast charging will improve, and it will feel just like a gas vehicle.
Yeah, just like a gas vehicle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is it's really interesting. I mean, the way it's going is extremely interesting because they're talking about they don't want any petroleum-based cars, new ones or whatever, in California by 2030 or something of that nature, which is 5 years down the road. That seems like, oh my gosh, is that possible? So, but it is continued research and development and just pushing every step.
Just
forward,
get better
right?
and better. I mean, we're on our fifth new chemical battery already, which is improving density and improving fast charging. We're already on our 5th generation, and we've been up and running in Nevada for 7 years, and we're already on our 5th generation. And we'll make a new generation in Kansas. Yeah. It'll be another generation of battery. So that technology will keep coming. I got to be honest, I don't know that 2030 makes sense to me. I see what they're doing in California. I think it'll take it'll take a little bit longer, and should, because people have to feel right. They have to feel good about it. The consumer has to feel good about it. But as they keep working it, the technology will keep coming, and then eventually more people will feel more comfortable that they'll be able to drive that distance. And when they get to a charger, they'll be able to charge it, and it'll do exactly what it wants. It's a little bit early at the moment. We're still early. So infrastructure, where the chargers are struggling. But I have noticed, I do a drive between Kansas and Indiana from time to time, and I have noticed there's a number of gas stations that have a whole bunch of chargers in the gas station, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So they're kind of morphing towards that.
Yeah, right. I would say if anyone now is going to build a normal gas station, now a new one, say, I'd almost think they would almost have to be thinking far enough ahead to go, we got to put 10 charging stations in there as well as 10 pumps.
You got it.
So
that's exactly right. And then you see them. They're there. I see them when I'm driving.
Especially truck stops now, if they're going to start put these things in tractor trailers, they're really going to demand it.
You got it, exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, if I can maybe drift into that, and you stop me if I'm getting a little bit too political here, but what America's done a really nice job, it's done a really good job, is putting together packaging that they can see what's happening, that you and I have just talked about, right? So eventually the gas car will change. It might be 10 years, it might be 20 years, but it's going to change because of the technology and the way it's happening. So eventually that's going to change. And right now, China's pretty much ahead of us by at least a decade, right? And so what the government have done a really nice job on is they've said, okay, we want to be number one. And they've began to put a lot of infrastructure to support this industry and help it grow. That's why, we're managing to do things like we are doing in the Soto, et cetera. So it's helping. So that infrastructure has been very helpful and will continue to be helpful because we need to get at least parity with the Chinese, and we're not. They are way ahead of us. But as you do that, then you're protecting our auto industry and other things. And so it is the right thing to do, and it will help. But we are behind today. Yeah.
And everybody would be on the same page. I mean, everybody is now working together. The auto industry's working. Yeah, right. we got to catch the Chinese here. Yeah,
you got it, because you don't want them to be further ahead.
No.
And they're already ahead of us. When I say they're 10 years ahead, not necessarily technology, just the processes and the manufacturing processes. They've got their costs are really, really good, and we've got to catch up with that. Yeah. And so it's been set up already in the US government, which is great, and how they've set that up. I think that's going to be really successful. And then if I can go back to supply chain, what it's done is it's allowed us now to start ensuring that we're bringing on supply chain here in the United States. And there's 3 ways we do it. Number 1 is we have organic, brand new US suppliers moving into this technology. Number 2 is we have our Japanese companies and suppliers who already make the product and bringing them to the US. And then number 3, our Korean competitors are also bringing some of their suppliers into the US. So we can feed off those 3. And our expectation is we'll build that and have up to 50% of our supply chain will be here, right here in the USA, which is all about great jobs for people.
And they're feeding off of you as well.
Yes.
Korea and Japan are feeding off
You
of
got
us and our technology. So this is the part two that it's just fascinating stuff, okay? It's mind-boggling. It's fascinating. Just want the parents to pick up their ears here a little bit. We're talking about your kids now, okay? You have now partnered educational-wise and have already reached out to area colleges and places where you need a specific type of person in research and development. Maybe in some of the other areas, you can have people who just are just coming into basic industry, not really knowing what it's about, but want to learn about it. Talk about those partnerships that you're already, connecting with here in the area to really help in this area.
Yeah, spot on. So you were talking earlier about people and their jobs and the opportunity.
Yeah, right.
So we've got a curriculum that we've put together. We've worked very closely with a number of the community colleges. Johnson Community College in particular has been great. There's a number of others around. And we're working on this curriculum where they've actually created a curriculum for us. We put our apprenticeship training through that. So we're bringing people who have no knowledge of battery manufacturing, and we put them through this apprenticeship program, of which the community colleges are the foundation of that. And from there, they do that apprenticeship, and then they're able to come in and join the company, and they'll already have a certain amount of education as well as a certain amount of understanding.
Yeah.
So maintenance operators and stuff like that. And we've set all that up. That is in motion right now. There's already classes right now, and it's happening. And here's the beautiful thing that I love in particular, is we are touching people's hearts. So there's people as young as 16, 17, 18, I should say 18, who've come out of school, and they maybe didn't have a great academic start, and they're managing to find another way, and we give them a second opportunity. And I've got people at the other end of the scale who thought they were retired, they thought they were finished, and they had this opportunity, and they still had that hunger, and they're in the class. And watching all of them share their experiences, some of them new experiences, some of them, sharing with
the knowledge with the
it's
enthusiasm
all happening, and they are so excited. I met them all about 2 weeks ago, and they were so pumped up, and they're so excited, and they do change the world with the product they're making. That's what we tell them. So it's working really well. Great education system in place. Everybody again has been complimentary. They're all supporting us, and we're building up a workforce through that. And that's obviously just one way, but that's partly what we're doing.
Besides Johnson County Community College, who else is on board with you educational?
There's a number of other colleges. I can't remember them all right now,
that's fine. I understand.
There's a number of them.
All local.
All local colleges.
The whole junior college, Maple Woods, all of them are probably into the same thing. And the college curriculum is changing. I mean, there's so many people that come back and tell you. In fact, we talked to Cliff Hillig, your good friend, about this. The situation is the college education is not doing what we want it to do anymore. There's a lot of kids that don't need this psychology course or that philosophy course or that logic course. It's great to have it or whatever, but we need them in where their interest lies, where it'll keep them awake in class and just funnel them into what they want to do. And I think that falls right into what you're trying to do.
100%. And they've been very supportive. They've been really supportive, working with us and getting it done. At the other end, at the academic end, we signed an agreement with KU. So we're going to be putting a lab in place in KU. And again, they're working very strongly with us on curriculum. So that's more higher level academic. So it's kind of different end of the scale as such. And they're working with us as well. So all of that, again, it's just a beautiful feeling. It feels just very neighborly and very friendly. And everybody just wants to do the best for the students, as well as for their university, as well as for us. So it just feels really powerful community. Yeah,
and we also feel, and I think Cliff talked about this as well, if you do have to bring people in, you're going to have to bring people in probably from all parts of the world, from all parts of the world. You're going to be Japanese, Koreans.
Right.
You're going to bring them from Scotland, England, even Ireland maybe will let them in, right? But the deal is that you're going to bring people in from all over the world to fill some of these other positions from both coasts, from north and south or whatever. To get them here, I think the feeling you have for this area is the same feeling they're going to get. You probably would believe that once we get them here, we keep them here for a time, we're going to keep them. And that's the important thing.
No, 100%. I really believe that. It's interesting. I didn't know much about Kansas.
Really?
A couple of years ago, right? I didn't know. And then, But we've been here, we've been around, and oh my gosh, it's an amazing city. And the more people that we bring in and they have a look at it, and we let them spend a few days around the city and stuff like that, they're like, wow, this place is just awesome. This is where I want to bring my family up. Do you know, this is where I want to bring my neighbours to, kind of thing. They are really excited about it, and it's a real great community feel, and it's landing really well. If I can mention, there's about 4,500 people. That's what we expect. And once the factory's finished, pretty much 3,800 of those people will be operators. So that's the bulk of our workforce. There'll be people on the floor and working, and therefore that's where the community colleges really play in, because that's where we tap into those curriculums and help people be ready. At the same time, there's jobs where they don't have to do the college work, because we have a full training program. We will teach them what to do. We'll show them what to do. We'll help them understand what to do. So if they've got energy and they've got enthusiasm, they can play a role, for sure, because we will help them with that.
So the question I'm sure everybody asks all the time is, how much will AI factor into all this? I know AI is an ongoing process, but how much will that play into this?
Well, the roles we have are interesting. So AI we use AI a lot.
But we're all using it.
But AI enhances you. It enhances you. So I'm going to, if I can quickly tell a story, I'll tell you a story about AI. So what we do with AI and how we use it, because I think it's important for people to, because everybody worries about AI. So here's the thought. So we took 5 years of maintenance data in Nevada, 5 years, and we ran it through an AI program. And what we were asking the program to do was tell us how many faults we have, how many faults do we have regularly, and what do we do to fix them? And we ran this thing, right? And we created this little cartoon called Ask Atom, ATOM, Ask Atom. And we created this model. I had a lady, she's 2 weeks in the job, and she's a maintenance lady, right? She goes over to the machine. She's on a suite of machines, and one of the machines goes down, and it has a red light. It's all traffic light, so it goes red. She goes over to the machine. Her first language is Spanish, not English. She's English speaking, but her first language is Spanish. So I asked her, what's your first language? She says Spanish. Everything turns to Spanish, so there's no misinterpretation or anything. And then it says, the fault in this machine, based on what we know, this is AI, the probability is it's this switch. Take it out, clean it, put it back in, you'll have the machine up and running. There's an 85% probability. She did it, put it back in, machine was up and running. She fell $1 million because she'd fixed something in 2 weeks. Wow. And the machine, so that's where AI helps. I still need my maintenance lady.
Yeah, sure you do.
I still need her to do that.
You still need a human to interpret.
But AI helped her go through that thought process that if been in the job for 2 weeks, may have taken a little bit of time. It took her straight to it. Yeah. That's what AI does. And so you see, I certainly see it more as a complementary play than a negative play. Yeah. Just an example.
Yeah, it's all about people too. And I think 100%. That's the big thing for you too is, you're talking about the area in Kansas City and the work ethic, et cetera. It is the people that you get working under those roofs out there in DeSoto, Kansas, isn't it?
100%. And we very much, so I mentioned high performance culture right at the beginning. And people might go, well, what does that mean? It's just a bunch of buzzwords. Here's what it means. We are all about our people. We serve our people. My job, my leadership team's job, is to make sure my people have got whatever they need to do their job. They're accountable for doing their job. I'm accountable to make sure they've got what they need to do their job. So if you like, it's a kind of servant leader kind of process. And we focus on the people. And my experience tells me if we get the people right and we give them the right environment to operate, and we communicate well with them. So again, back to that environment, then you don't need to worry about your numbers, because your numbers are going to happen. And that's what Kansas already has as a gift. Before you even take them into an environment that we're going to improve that situation, they already come with that attitude, that energy, that enthusiasm. And that's what makes Kansas so special.
I'm ready to go to work. You a job for me. I'm ready.
You're more than welcome.
I'm ready to go. Let's talk about you a little bit. Let's talk about Allan Swan, his family. Yeah. You talked about the kids or whatever. Just give me a little process of you settling into Kansas City and your feedback that you get from the most important part of your world is your wife and your kids.
So they all love it. They all live in Indiana. So I've got grandchildren as well. So I've got 2 boys. And I've got 3 grandchildren. They're all over in Indianapolis.
We got to wake them up and get them to Kansas. Go ahead.
But we bring them over here, and they love it.
Yeah.
They love it. My wife, she's granny, right? So she's a grandparent, so she's looking after the children, the grandchildren and stuff. But when I brought them here, they love it. They think it's absolutely outstanding. We've got a great location down there in Prairie Village. It's beautiful. We really love it. We like it. Everybody we meet, it's really, really outstanding. My daughter lives in the UK. She works for the BBC over there.
Oh, really?
So and she's been over here, and
Yeah.
she thought, "Dad, this is the best. This is the best place you've ever stayed." She loved it. She totally loved it when she came over. So that's us as a group. Like I say, a little bit split up, unfortunately.
Yeah, for now.
And Mummy Bear doesn't like that, right?
No.
She doesn't like that. She's got a child over in the UK and then grandchildren over in Indiana, and of course I'm like wherever I'm to be. But it's been amazing, and it's a really, really enjoyable, very very peaceful but enjoyable and friendly city.
Yeah, right. And I know you love soccer. I know because I've seen you. You're a soccer coach, right? You're a certified soccer coach, correct?
Yeah.
Which to me sounds certified. You mean there's some place to go to school? There's a couple of dads out there on a Saturday or Sunday.
No, they
Talk
do.
to me about your soccer background.
Yeah, so I couldn't play very well. I actually played rugby when I was a kid.
Oh, okay, great.
Not a great Soto.
You can still play here now. They got Kansas City Blues are still running around.
Okay,
somewhere.
well I might hang out there.
There you
and
go.
See how I go. But and what happened was, as my boys were growing up, there was the Scottish Football Association
Yes.
has a coaching class, etc. So rather than just, and they, by the way, totally humble to all the dads that do this, like every weekend and stuff. They just there was an opportunity to learn a little bit more, and we did. And so one of my friends and I did it. We did a couple of certificates, and so we can coach soccer. We know what it looks like. We know how to do it a little bit. We're not as good as Peter and the team over
Peter
in Swan,
Vermees.
Kansas. Yeah, not that far up because there's
Right.
like 10 levels. We were only level 2 levels, but it taught you some things, and interestingly, very similar to work, about how you treat people,
That's right.
how you behave with people, how you help them when they're under pressure. It's very, very similar, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I did that, and I got my SFA badge for that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of kids learn in soccer, just like in your business. They learn, well, you know what? I'm really not good enough to be in the MLS or on the World Cup
Sure.
stage or something like that. I'm pretty content with where I am because it's where my skill level is. Yeah. And to let them know that without giving them, I mean, you don't tear away their hope, but
No,
you
of
just sort of just give them as much as you can possibly give them.
Exactly
and
right.
They make up their own mind. when they're there.
Exactly. And some of my son's friends, so my son's like 35, and some of his friends still remember when I coached them way back.
Yes, that makes you feel good,
and that
too.
makes you feel good. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
really
So
good.
it means you did touch the heart.
Okay,
which is
you're
good.
from Scotland,
Yeah,
birthplace of golf. Do you play golf?
I do, and I'm hopeless. I am
That
not.
makes me feel way better.
Oh my gosh, I'm not a good. If I get on 100, if I get under 100, I'm like celebrating.
Yeah.
And I might do first 9 holes. I do good, and then I just
Yeah.
my gosh. So I don't practice well enough. I've not played.
We don't have much time.
To be fair, no.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. All the Japanese play golf.
Oh, yeah, they
I
all
met
do,
all
don't
them.
they?
They all play golf.
They all give them those 2-hour lunch deals where they're not supposed to go out and eat lunch. They're supposed to go out and either work out or go play golf or do whatever they got to do. Right? Yeah.
But golf's a wonderful game.
Yeah, it
for
is.
sure. It's
Humility.
for sure. Yes,
Teach you
yes,
humility.
and it's good though. It is
Yeah.
good.
Well, you created it to make the rest of us in the world
I know. I
miserable.
apologize to everybody who's listening. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Alan, can't thank you enough for your time today.
Of course.
Absolutely terrific. All the best.
Thank you.
Not only for yourself and for Panasonic and for everything you're doing, but for this whole area where you're bringing all these people together and really helping out the economics of the area. It's just been
Well, like I said, everybody's helping us, so it's a two-way thing, and it's a very strong community, and yeah, looking forward to it.
well, good. Well, you and Panasonic and
Yep.
the EV plant out there in DeSoto, Kansas, you're one of the reasons why we always say there's just something about Kansas City.
Thank you very much.
There's Just Something About Kansas City is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization with the mission of documenting the stories that have built our city to inspire and educate generations to come. Our work is made possible by the generous support of local partners such as the Cockrell Family Foundation, the Bergman family, and the Sherman Family Foundation. For more information about how you can help us share these stories, visit our website at somethingaboutKC.org. Thank you.